our back-to-back champion, Alexis Kesterson. That's right. Alexis locked in the win yesterday. Or locked it in Tulsa, that's right. Yep. So coming into this week, and your 2023 champion in Pro Junior currently sits in the left lane on the starting line. We saw Alexis earlier during the opening ceremonies. They were handing out all the checks, and then all of a sudden the recognition of the winners. Ty Janicek currently right now sits in the right lane. That's over there, the Elder Cedar Creek lane. Once again, we want to thank the Race Star Wheels for sponsoring the Pro Junior category. They make their way into the stage beams now. Looks like Ty Janicek sets a tree, and they're off. They're coming up on the 330 now, just past the 330, approaching the 8th mile. What's 660 going to bring? It goes to Alexis Kesterson. A margin of victory, 0.03 of a second. Runs a 7:96.7 at 81 mile per hour. Going down the track in complete silence. The only thing you're going to hear, the tires pulling up the traction compound. And exactly. Well, with a wheelie all the way down to the top end. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously went 0.76 on the red light there in the left lane. Wind light goes up on the board for the right lane, 791 on a 790 dial. The nice thing was that right lane, the reaction time, 0.006. 6 thousandths on the reaction. Very nice for that junior dragster. But right now, we got our 7.0 index coming at us next.
Hey, which means it's Mike Narks. I've been down just here in the lanes talking to Cole Jones and his dad Meredith here a few minutes ago with the wagon here. Guys, Meredith has owned this since 1973. Will you tell him we lost camera one? Simple car here, 383 with a Power Glide in this. 7.0 index. Yeah, believe it or not, this car weighs 3,100 pounds and is a wagon. Blows my mind. Maddie in the right lane didn't have a chance to catch up with them before I got to the tower. Oh, red light, so the wagon will move on. So congratulations to Cole and his dad. I got to talk to the folks here in the Love truck as well. Simple setup here. Small block Chevrolet Power Glide. Said he built this because it wasn't an S10. He wanted something a little different than something everybody builds. And this truck just does work. Says he does a lot of bracket racing. And obviously he does 011 on the light. 8th mile time of 7:11. Doesn't move on. Sadly, Vince is out there. 7:02 in the right lane for Brian McLean. All right, also had a chance to catch up with what they were working on for Joe's car in the right lane. Actually has a fuel pump connector that is maybe deciding it doesn't want to play nice anymore, so this should be a pretty good race here. Sid Mars in the left lane in the El Camino. And they were thrashing on this, pushing it forward. Thrashing on Joe's car. Looks like you may have it figured out side by side down the lane there. Both mid-fours. 7:00 for the left lane, 7:02 for Joe. So Sid Mars moving on. And guys, help me out here. Help me sing happy birthday to Bobby in the left lane. About to do his burnout in this 78 Camaro. First year racing, 6th in points here at the track in the Point Series races. Says his birthday is Monday. Wouldn't tell me how old he was, though. But for his first year to race, I'd say he's doing pretty good being this late in the rounds for 7.0 index. This class is highly competitive. Dylan Bontrager in the right lane.
Are you hollering at me? Yeah. Okay.
Making a call for old school back half to the lanes. Old school back half to the lanes, please. Bobby's car's a 565 with 2 kits. You'll see him leave a little easy, and then Dad turns in all the power from there. So maybe the 60-foot isn't quite where Dylan's is going to be, but you'll see him come around him at the end there. We've moved into the 580 class, so you're going to see some mid-120s as far as mile per hour for this class. There he is. There comes the power. 128.60 for Dylan, 157 for Bobby. And Bobby moves on with a 582 on the tree. Wow, margin of victory, 0.0007. Does it? 7/10,000ths of a second. It doesn't get much closer than that. I got to talk to John in the lanes as well, guys. I was busy. I was really busy. He works at Rare Morrison, so he's kind of got a deal. 565 in this car, NA, big block, power glide, says it's an easy setup. His family bought this in 1968, and that's the Camaro in the right lane. Scooter Hamlin in the left lane has been deadly consistent all night. Some of the best reaction times coming here in the left lane. But how nice would it be to work at Rare Morrison and maybe get to wrench on your own stuff? Big wheelie for John. 01 to 02 light. 58055 for John. Moves on to the next round, 118 miles an hour. I think that does it for our 580 index class. A thousandth of a second margin of victory there for John over Scooter. The weather has certainly changed a little bit. We are cooling down a little bit. The humidity has been relatively low all day, but I'm not sweating through my t-shirt now, so that's always a plus. So we should see these index cars are going to have to maybe dial the power back a little bit to take advantage of this. For the folks that are watching at home on the Flow Racing live stream, I know it looks like there's some heavy clouds, but we're not seeing it here on the grounds. It's been kind of nice having some overcast today. All right, so that was the end of the 580 class. We should be looking for some 5.0 index stuff here momentarily. Oh, man, I'm hearing they're getting suited up in the lanes for 5.0 index. Ooh, two races here into the semis. We got 4 cars left for the 5.0 index. In these cars here, you're going to see 140 plus miles an hour in the 8th mile. Again, about 3 times as fast as your daily driver is going to run. I don't care what your daily driver is. All right, I'm seeing some people waving here. The track guys saying, bring it on. Let's see some burnouts. I want to say thanks to those guys. They've worked hard today. If you think you've worked hard and walked a lot, these guys have walked up and down this little bit of lane right here all day. All right, Tony back here in the left lane. Remember, he had a bye on the last round, so moving right into the semis here. Going against Mark Keith. Huge burnouts for these guys. I think Mark has had the best pass of the class today in eliminations a little bit earlier. So, again, we're looking at 5.00, and if you do go faster, you're hoping your opponent goes faster than you, if that makes sense. So you can win by going slow. Doesn't make any sense to me either, but I do love index racing. Fastback Mustang and Mark Keith here in the right lane. Always leaves with the wheels up, so be ready to see that. Not much of a wheelie that time, but car gets down. Ooh, Tony moves on. 009 on the light, 5031 on the way out. Mark goes just a little too fast. Terry Henry here in the left lane. You remember? I feel like I was just up here a little bit ago. These guys are they're back to back running these things. TJ Webb in the right lane in the first gen Camaro. This is generally where I'd talk about some Ford versus Chevrolet or Mustang versus Camaro action, but I don't see anybody betting on the line down there. I got any money on this one? See who's going to take the win there. Maybe that was just for me going to Yellow Belly the other night. I don't know. And I survived. And I survived. It was a great night. That's definitely an experience. If you are an out-of-towner, you need to make your way to Yellow Belly. I think they race again on Thursday night. But right now for tonight, we're racing right here at Extreme Raceway Park. Thanks to this team for bringing us into such a nice facility. This is one of the nicest facilities I've been to across the country, and I've visited 37 racetracks this year. I guess this makes 38. So it's been a good year. That is one of the benefits of Drag and Drive is you get to visit a lot of tracks. .0098 helps TJ. 0098 Rex time helps TJ to the Clint Parker in the left lane, first gen Yanko tribute car. Jay Moore in the right lane. Again, maybe the only fourth gen here. So our last pair for the old school back half class. Which lane are you taking, Justin? Which lane do you think's got this one? It's $2. Let's put on this right here.
Right lane.
Right lane. Ooh, man, this is going to be a good one. 0079 on the light. Dude, you called it. 5001 for the 8th mile for Jay Moore. It is on the money. Whoever's tuning that car is doing a great job. I'm going to hand this to you. You've been calling these.
Yeah, the junior slammers, I look at some of these last names, and I'll tell you right now, I've actually had where I had someone let me call their last name wrong for over 5 years. We're talking half a decade. And then they ended up having a child, and Junior, 6 years old, comes up to me and it's like, this is how you pronounce our last name. So sometimes it's a little on the difficult side, but getting down to the top end of the track, it looks like that right lane gets there first. 793 with a 4. 82 mile per hour.